All right, welcome. We'll get started in 2 minutes. Today we're going to do a simple sell. We did on Monday, we did open of creation and the deposit of the $100 today. Yesterday we did the buying of the cryptos. And today we'll do the selling. Very, very simple today. We'll keep it light for this teaching. I'll probably share my screen. Right, so let me share my screen before we get started. 2 minutes. Right, I'm just gonna sneeze. You guys can pray for me. A little bit of under the weather, but it's all right. Gonna keep pushing through. Hey, Robert, welcome from Houston, Texas. All right, we'll start in a minute. So right now we'll keep it light, 15 minutes and then 15 minutes QA. Today's focus is on selling cryptos. So we'll get right there. If you are in Facebook or in YouTube, I just realized you can go to www.supernaturaltransfer.com to be able to join us in the Zoom link. There are those groups. Okay, so we'll get started about now. Okay, here we go. All right, so what we did was what we taught so far was on Monday, we did a simple account creation. So I'll log out again. So just a quick review. What did we do? We logged in here and we created our account. And as you created each of your accounts here, you put your password. We went a few items on having your strong password. And the username could be your email, once again, or if it's already taken, you can put a 1 or a 2 or 3. And I did suggest for you to change the starting capital from $10,000 to $100. And I did tell you to click on accepting the privacy policy and the terms of use and a weekly summary. And then on Tuesday, we actually did log in. So I'm going to log in now. And based on that, we did a simple buy. We were buying Bitcoin. Here, when we did Bitcoin, we did 1 for 1 cent. I'll do it again real quickly. 1 cent. We did buy. We did 10 cents. We did buy. And then we did $1 and then buy. And we also shared how all the transactions are in here. You can see it down here, all the transactions we're going to do. Now, here's the fun part, the sell part. So let me talk about this real quickly before we actually do it. So just like this is a simple process where it's like exchanging. You're just exchanging from one currency to another. So if you traveled to another country, you probably exchange your US dollar to British pounds or euro or Mexican pesos. Or if you come up north to Canada, you would have changed it to Canadian dollars. But then same thing, when you come back to your country, to your original country, then you sell that back and then you buy back. In this case, then you get back that US dollar. So in this case, that's what we're going to do here. So same thing, if we were to log in an exchange and you're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to sell Bitcoin because it went up. It actually went up in price, right? 28,363, and I want to sell it. So same concept as the buy flow. You'd hover your mouse to the icon where it says the B, and make sure the mouse pointer switches from a pointer to a hand. Because if it's pointer, you're not going to be able to click anything. But here you can click on here, and you click on the Bitcoin. But here, when you see buy market, buy limit, sell market, sell limit, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the sell market. So as you can see in the buy, we're buying the US dollar to Bitcoin. And when you click the sell market right here, obviously there's ads because this is how they can keep their ads up. Every time you see an ad, you just always close an ad. Just close it. So close that off, press the X. When you see the sell market, you notice how it's from Bitcoin now to US dollar, right? So for instance, if we just scroll down here, Bitcoin now is at $28 and $28,355. So I bought Bitcoin. I mean, it's going to be at a loss, 355. So now what we're going to do is we're going to click on the sell market. And now let's just sell. Same thing, same exercise. We're going to go down to where it says USD. And then we're going to sell 1 cent worth of Bitcoin. So we're going to go 0.01. So as an exercise, we're going to sell 1 cent worth of Bitcoin. So we're going to click on sell BTC, and that's it. It's very similar to buying. It's just the other way around. You'll see the notification here. It says trade Bitcoin for USD. In reality, we're selling our Bitcoin to get USD, completed successfully. And if you scroll down here, now you'll notice your action is now the opposite. Instead of, let me make this bigger without it being messed up. There you go. Instead of buy, the action is sell. What did you sell? You sold Bitcoin. You sold this much amount. Once again, cryptos is divisible by 8 decimal points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decimal points, 6 zeros, and then 3, 5. You sold 1 cent worth, and the price is at 28,500. And then when did you do this? Just now, right? So we'll do the same thing again, just to get used to it. This time, we'll sell 10 cents worth. I'm going to start it from the start. So once again, here, we're going to look for the Bitcoin. Make sure the mouse switches from the pointer to the B. We're going to click on that one. We're going to click on sell market. So just like there's buy, this time we're going to sell. We're going to sell market. This time, instead of 1 cent worth of Bitcoin, we're going to sell 10 cents worth of Bitcoin by going in the text box beside USD and going in the text box, and we're going to type in 0.10, which represents 10 cents. So now we're telling the exchange, hey, I want to sell 10 cents worth of my Bitcoin. And you see that there, 10 cents, which is equivalent to 5 zeros, 353 worth of Bitcoin. And then we're going to click on sell BTC. We see a notification in the top right that says trade BTC -USD completed successfully. And if we scroll down here, now you can see on your transaction log or your activity, and it says action is you sold, you sell Bitcoin. How much Bitcoin did you sell? 0.000352, which is 10 cents worth of Bitcoin, and this price, and just now. And then lastly, I'm going to do the third time where we're going to do as if you logged in. Once again, you go to Bitcoin, the Bitcoin here. We're going to click on that. And then instead of buy market, always make note, buy market, it should say sell market. And the other thing I want to emphasize, make sure it doesn't say sell limit, because the sell limit will look like this, right? It's a little bit different screen. That's not today's focus. Today's focus is purely sell market. And as you can see in this picture, we're going from Bitcoin to US dollar. And in this case, let's sell $1 worth of Bitcoin. I do want to show you a mistake. What people do is, oh, I'm going to sell $1 worth of Bitcoin. And this is where they put the $1 here and they're like, it's not working. They're like, $1, it's not working. So number one, they don't have 1 Bitcoin and they're not at the $1 page. And then you notice here, it's automatically saying $2.13 because that's how much Bitcoin I technically have. All I have is $2.13 worth of Bitcoin. And I was clicking on the wrong area. If you're trying to put $1 here, it's not working. You're doing it wrong because you're in the Bitcoin side. You want to go in the US dollar text box or area. You're going to click in here. And then this time we're going to put 1.00, which represents $1 worth of Bitcoin. We're going to click on sell BTC. And then you see, once again, a notification, a message that says trade BTC-USD completed successfully. And then when you scroll down, now you'll see you sold Bitcoin. How much Bitcoin? You sold 0.050352, which is $1 worth of Bitcoin, which is at the price of 28,338. When did you do it? Just now. Okay. So another thing, I didn't cover this earlier on the buy and sell, is there is commission. Exchanges need to make money. So in this case, every time you buy or sell, in this case, the exchange gets a commission. So typically it's around less than 1%, like 0.1, 0.2. In this case, you can see it here, 0.25%. So if you were to sell, let me see here if I can still do it. I don't think I have one. Yes, I have $1 worth of Bitcoin. So $1 worth of Bitcoin, the commission is 0.25, right? So that 0.25% of that one. So vice versa, if I that would be like 0.025 cents, right? So there's just a commission. Okay. The other thing to make note is when you're selling, make sure you when you're selling, that you double check it, right? Because other mistakes people do is, let's say they have $100 worth of Bitcoin, and then they misspell the number, right? I'm going to demonstrate here. What they do is, remember, cryptos is a reversible transaction. So what they do is they thought they're putting $1, right? Let's say you're going to sell $1 worth, but then they don't realize they either put $10 or $100, and I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to sell that much Bitcoin. So when you're selling, just double check, make sure you double check it here, right? Okay, I'm going to sell $1 worth or 1 cent worth, and make sure you just double checking it. What I do is, especially if it's super tiny, like it's like this, in your keyboard, if you're in the Mac, you can press Command plus to zoom in. So like that's another trick, because it's like, oh my gosh, it's too small. And sometimes you're like, what am I putting in here? So you can zoom in, zoom out using the command button for Mac and plus. So when you press plus, it goes bigger. So now you can see, oh, I am selling 1 cent worth. Oh, I am selling 10 cents worth. Oh, I am selling $1 worth. And then another trick I do is you just copy and paste it. So let's say you're like, oh, it's still too small, it's still not big enough. You can just copy this, copy it, and then open up your favorite notepad. And then you're like, okay, just blow it up really, really big. So like, okay, I am selling what I want to sell. And then thirdly, what you could do is sometimes in my early days, when I would buy and sell cryptos, is I would get my wife or a friend say, hey, make sure my numbers is right. Is my numbers right? Is this right? Just someone, it's called a peer review. And you get that person to check it to make sure that you are selling the right amount, right? Especially, so when you're selling and the numbers are like small amounts, like this is a small amount here, Bitcoin, and you're like, am I selling the right amount, right? Is this the right price? So this is where just double checking by the size, by making it bigger, once again, with your browser, right? If you get too big, you can press Command 0 and I'll reset it to 100%, right? If you're too big or too small, you're like, oh, what's going on? It's too small. You can press Command 0. If it's too big and you're like, what is going on here? You can press Command 0. And lastly, if you don't even have your mouse, your keyboard, you can see it in the top right here, and you can get bigger, smaller, or just press the reset button. Okay. So that's very, very simple. I just wanted to keep it light. Today is the selling. I know tomorrow is Thursday. I don't know if we're going to do, let's see what we'll do. If we're going to do either withdrawal or limits or sending, because we might have to use a different tool for that one. But I just want to keep this light. Today's focus is fully on selling. All the transactions are here. Cryptos are irreversible transactions. And we're done. And I think that's it. Then I'm going to open up the floor for some questions. If you want to be part of this Q&A and you're in Facebook or in YouTube, go to www.super, let me make it capitals, www.supernaturaltransfer.com to join us for the Q&A section of this. Daily, we go at 2 p.m. ET, or I'll also do the QR code